everybody, and welcome back to Geek Chef Gaming. I am bringing back BattleTech. Um, I tried playing this game about a year ago, and while I did enjoy it, I kind of soft-locked myself um, with how autosave worked and just not having enough resources to do a story mission. Um, but BattleTech's a fun game, and I'm excited to give it another go. Come on. Something. Okay. Something weird's going on here. Nope, there it goes. Anyway, BattleTech is, as a IP, is about 35 years old. It was originally created by FUBAR Games, by the same guy who created Shadowrun. Essentially, it takes place. Game takes place during the Third Succession War era, which is in the year 3025. Essentially, humanity has started to traverse the stars, as you're seeing here. This is the founding of the Star League, which is basically the golden age of humanity for all intents and purposes. Humanity reached its technological peak and had basically its longest period of peace ever. This is the Ameris Civil War, where basically Stephen Ameris betrayed Ian Cameron, the head of the Star League. There was a lot of story here that I'm skipping over, but he basically betrayed him, killed him, usurped it, and the general of the Star League Defense Force, Alexander Kerensky, basically kicked his ass, and with a power vacuum, the other major powers were mobilizing to try to fill it, and they did not like that. And he did not like that. So he basically convinced his men to join him in leaving the galaxy, for all intents and purposes. Well, they're not technically out of the galaxy, but out of known space, far beyond the edges of the periphery. And they agreed. Well, now with that power vacuum in place, the great houses basically bombed each other into as close to the Stone Age as they could, where salvaged battle mechs that are centuries old often outperformed freshly made ones off the production lines, because the technology had degraded, and due to automation and all that, no one actually knew how to make anything anymore. So if the computers went down on how to make something, well, no more of that. But enough backstory. Let's get into the campaign here. The Third Succession War was basically because they were so busy bombing each other into the Stone Age, and the technology couldn't afford to be lost anymore. It was basically a low-intensity skirmish warfare that lasted a couple of centuries. The Secession Wars would ultimately end with the clan invasions, which are basically the remnants of the SLDF, who developed their own culture and identity, basically saying, "We own you now." And that's a story for its own time. There are 6 basically eras of BattleTech. And most people are familiar with it during the Secession War and clan invasion eras, because the stuff after that, with the possible exception of the FedCom Civil War, which is what follows the clan invasion, is considered to be middling, if not outright bad, world building, where they basically, after FOSSA collapsed, the IP kind of got passed around, and well, everyone who had it wanted to do their own thing with it. And so the world's got basically blown up in the jihad, which is its own thing, and then the Dark Ages, because after a period of peace and disarmament after the jihad, whence communication broke down between systems as the technology that allowed faster than light speed faster than light communications broke down. Basically, everyone started looking for whatever they could to blow each other up, and so the tech regressed and in also some ways advanced. It's Dark Ages weird. And then they have a new one that just came out that the current holders of the IP, Catalyst Game Labs, is producing, called Ill Clan, which is basically Clan Invasion 2.0. You following me so far? There's a lot to BattleTech, and it has been called Game of Thrones in space for a reason. If you're interested in some of the lore, I highly recommend Black Pants Legion's Tex Talks BattleTech videos. In fact, they're so good they actually made Tex canon, and it looks like the game's actually starting.
Your noble heart or mercenary mind, your actions gave us hope. That makes you a hero in the eyes of history. Whether you believe it, that's up to you.
Okay. Welcome to the Agrian Reach. The Agrian Reach is a small kingdom in the Rimworld periphery. Okay. The periphery is a region, space bordering the surrounding inner sphere. The area directly opposite of the galactic core, known as the Rimworld periphery. The Rimworld periphery. Blah blah blah. I'm confusing them with the Rimworld Republic. The Rimworld periphery is home of the major states, as such as the Magistracy at Canopus and the Turian Concordat, and the Lyrian Coalition, as well as a large number of independent worlds. The region displays on the outskirts of a more densely populated inner sphere, basically everything about 30 to 40 light years outside of Earth. It's home to the Lyrian Coalition, a federalized organization around a parliamentary monarchy ruled by the Arano family. For 3 generations under the rules of House Arano, the Lyrian Coalition has remained relatively peaceful corner in the periphery. The Lyrian Coalition is an interstellar state in the Lyrian Reach area of the windward periphery, bordering both Capellan and Turian space. That's going to be an interesting bit of real estate there. I'll go into that in a minute, but growing out of a trade partnership in the mid-29th century, the Lyrian Coalition is formally established in 2910 by High Lady Corina Arano. In the past 100 years, the coalition has grown from source systems for a total of 23 planets. Okay, sorry about that. Kiki, quit clawing up the couch. The cat wants attention. You're a bitch. You're a bitch, cat. Yes, I know. You want cuddles. But you're a bitch, cat. I'm trying to work here. There's a lot to BattleTech. I'll try to do my best. Forgive me if it gets a little jumbled and confusing at times. As I was saying about lore, TechStock's BattleTech is probably the best on YouTube. They've actually made him canon due to how well he is does his stuff. And another good source is Sarna.net. It is the fan wiki of the BattleTech / Mech Warrior franchises, and they actually cross-reference almost everything they have, materials from the novels, source books, you name it. They go into insane depth, and you can go into that rabbit hole for hours just learning stuff, down to histories of individual regiments, to the various powers and their unique color schemes. Anyway, to the game. Decades ago, your family came from... Okay. These are the major factions in the game. These 5 are the inner sphere. These are the periphery states. Or pseudo-states, I should say. The Draconis Combine is basically heavily based off of Japan. Basically feudal Japan, to be more precisely. Heavily on Bushido and all that, and dedication to the state and all that. With the mech warriors of the Pillar of Steel, they're at their peak, with the 5 pillars essentially being a pseudo caste system. It's not entirely accurate, but that's the short version. They're kind of bastards. They're probably the most aggressive faction in the game. And they basically look down on everyone who is... They basically think human rights only apply to those within their own borders. Anyone outside of that has none. And not all... And the distribution of those rights are, let's just say, divided, as if you are seen as not being loyal enough or dishonorable in some way. Um, they aren't really kind, but they do have a strong tech base, and they're an interesting group there. Free Worlds League, and it's ruled by House Kurita here. Free Worlds League is odd. It's like an amalgamation of the United States and the old Holy Roman Empire. It's basically a loose confederation of independent states under a de facto military dictatorship under House Merrick. While it's technically a republic, Merrick, due to shenanigans and a fact that essentially a legalized dictatorship that was created in a state of emergency was never actually repealed, so the family still remains in power. But because they are a loose association of smaller states, they tend to fight amongst themselves almost as much as they fight outside forces. But because of this, it's a gold mine for mercenary work, and despite their tensions, they have probably one of the strongest economies in the entire Inner Sphere, making them arguably the richest faction, with the only real rival being the Lyrian Commonwealth, ruled by House Steiner. They believe in combined arms tactics, and due to their sheer wealth, they can pretty much get their hands on anything, although they do have a hard time developing certain energy weapons like PPCs. They also have a strong independence streak, and are highly adaptable. The Federated Suns are the de facto noble faction, ruled by House Davian. If you basically are familiar with Roberto Gilliman and the Ultramarines in 40K, this is more or less that sub-faction. They love autocannons on their mechs, which are basically high-powered machine guns. And while they think of themselves as righteous and all that, and they're basically stylized off of a mixture of basically British and French aristocracy and traditions, they are more than willing to get their hands dirty in a bunch of ways. They are big funders of terrorists and supporting civil wars, and while they will often try to use diplomacy to try to get what they want, they will they're not afraid of going to the dark side, as it were, if it being sneaky about getting what they want. Lyrian Commonwealth. This is sometimes called Space Germany. They are one of the richest. They're only made, as I said before, one of the richest factions, with only the Free Worlds League being a rival to them in that title. And they're ruled by House Steiner. However, while they are relatively liberated people, what we would call now, with a good deal of mobility, and they treat their citizens well, the problem with them is it's all about money and connections to move up in the world, especially in the military. And they have a very, very bad habit of basically producing social generals. Basically, my family thinks it would be nice to have a general in the family, so I'm going to bribe this official over here to basically get my nephew or something on the fast track through military academy, so he's an instant 2-star general within 3 years of graduating the academy. This leads to House Steiner, despite its wealth and tech base, to lose some pretty spectacular battles. And they have a difficulty getting their hands on lighter mechs. And due to this lack of familiarity and lack of skill in commanders, they often, there was a joke basically saying their idea of a scouting lance is 4 atlases, the heaviest of the heavy mechs. Because while they may not be able to find the enemy before the enemy finds them, they'll be able to deal with them once they show up. Anyway, moving on. Capellans. The Capellan Federation, ruled by House Liao. This is kind of the sick man of the Inner Sphere. It's the smallest of the factions. As the Free Worlds League and House Davian's Federated Suns have been basically eating it up from both sides since the fall of Star League. This has made them kind of desperate. And they are the most ambitious of all the factions, but they're also arguably the most ruthless of the factions. You do not trust Capellans. You don't. Because their system of education is built around loyalty to the state above all, and they have been known to basically try to do things through subterfuge only to have that blow up spectacularly in their face. And they don't really... And if it doesn't blow up in their face, it actually works spectacularly. But they are the sneaky faction. They are the I want to be Machiavelli faction. Their government is basically a mix of communist Russia and Maoist China for its structure, so it's very oppressive and very regimented. But due to the indoctrination and instilled national loyalty, many of its citizenry are fanatically loyal to the Capellan Federation, and their intelligence body is the most feared in the galaxy. Outside of that of, well, Comstar, but they're their own thing. The Magistry of Canopus is basically Space Vegas for all intents and purposes. It's actually a matriarchal society, but they basically make all their money through tourism and, well, other activities, let's just put it that way. Drugs, prostitution, all sorts of things are legal there. They even canonized cat girls through genetic modifications of people. So if you want cat girl harems, that's the faction. But they are being basically Space Vegas. They don't really have much of a military, and use basically blackmail from various nobles doing their things in their borders, and a fairly large bank account to hire mercenaries to keep people in line. This is also where the Stellaris is, basically the gladiatorial planet where mechs go to fight for honor, glory, and fame, with a bunch of souped-up, highly customizable battle mechs. Turian Concordat is Space Texas for all intents and purposes. Highly independent streak. They don't trust the Inner Sphere at all, because the Inner Sphere has a long history of bullying them. And they're extremely territorial. They take the concept of hippity-hoppity, get off my property, to its furthest extreme, as they're willing to enforce that with nukes. And the fact they're able to fight off both Capellan and the Federated Suns from whenever they're doing pretty well means that they're experts in defensive warfare. But they have a very frontier mentality of everyone should be self-sufficient and all that not a bad faction, but due to their isolationist ways, they tend to be behind the tech curve because they do not trust outsiders. Rimward Periphery. This is basically where the game mainly takes place, so you're basically native to the Aegean Reach in that area. There is no easy way to characterize mech warriors hailing from the Rimward Periphery. They can be anything from petty thugs to ruthless tacticians to skilled and honorable warriors. Nations and minor noble houses of the Rimward Periphery have long played a role in shaping humanity. The Star League's downfall began in the periphery and eventually leading to the current tattered state of the desperate star systems at the edge of the known space. The periphery is still the galaxy's frontier, where the great houses of the inner sphere play deadly politics. Petty bandit kingdoms thrive. Pirate bands prey on the minor noble houses trying to survive in this hostile environment. Deep periphery is you're beyond the borders in known space. Basically, no one knows really what's out there, and it could be anything. You can be a clanner, a pirate crew, a small kingdom out in the middle of nowhere. Deep periphery is basically, I just want to do random shit faction. And it's not even really a faction, really. It's just, where do you hail from? Because it's worth mentioning that the Aegean Reach was actually invented for this game. And that just shows you how flexible the setting can be, especially with the idea of the periphery, when you could just create a small kingdom out of nowhere in an established setting, and it works, and the fans accept it. We're gonna go with Free Worlds League here because, well, it's a good place to be a mercenary. Just don't get on the bad side of your employers, or they will abandon you in unwinnable situations, or just on desert planets with nothing but your mechs. You are of noble birth. Though immigrants to the Aegean Reach, your family was soon established a comfortable presence in a small backwater system on the edge of Aegean space. By the time you were born, your family had become the de facto ruling nobility of the system's only inhabited planet. You are the oldest child, heir to the family's titles, and the ancestral battle mech and old blackjack BJ-1. This is where you met Raju Mastiff Montgomery, a veteran of the Succession Wars, whom your parents hired on for a season to train you as a mech warrior. Raju was a strict but capable teacher, and you quickly became a skilled pilot under his tutelage. It was an uneventful life until the day after your 16th birthday, when you were exiled, you struck out on your own, your family went bankrupt, your family died in an accident, your family was betrayed. Once promising a son, you committed an unforgettable transgression and were sentenced to a life of exile. You stole away the family's ancestral backpack and took off for a new life to call your own. +1 to gunnery, +1 to tactics. Gunnery is basically the accuracy stat. The higher it is, the better you can shoot. Tactics is a bit different. This is unique to this game, and it's a stat that basically makes you a better sniper with called shots, and makes you more accurate using indirect fire weaponry, aka small and large missiles. Or should I say, long and short range missiles, but they're effectively amounts to the same thing. As heir to the noble family, you grew up wanting nothing for nothing, and as it turns out, you couldn't stand a life of pampered nobility. Finally, one night, you stole away with the family's ancestral battle mech and set off to find a new life to call your own. +1 piloting, +1 tactics. Piloting is the skill that keeps you from falling over, so you can take a bit more stability damage. You also are better at handling your mech, so you gain more evasion when moving it. Very handy if you like using lighter mechs, as that's your primary way of not dying. Your family went bankrupt. As you grew older, you watched your family... Kiki, down in front. As you grew older, you watched your family's fortune, income, and influence slowly dwindle away, until there was nothing left. Your parents, driven to despair, took their own lives. Now with nothing but your ancestral blackjack left to call your own, you set off and make a new life for yourself. Guts is also a new stat to this game, and it's unique to it. And basically, it's extra hit points. As it's valuable. One of the things I like about BattleTech is the pilot is a thing. It's more than just a, oh, here's your baseline stats tied to your pilot. No. If you want to kill a mech, sometimes it's more effective to just kill the pilot, because some mechs are built to be super damn tanky, and, well, killing the mech is actually, killing the pilot is actually the fastest way of killing that damn mech, because so if you're going to go through 20 to 30 tons of armor, that's a lot of firepower just dedicated to take out that one mech. You're better off just knocking it around a bunch and hope you kill the pilot. Good scrap, too. It also reduces, increases your heat threshold, so you don't overheat as much, and it also says it reduces weapon recoil, which is interesting. Recoil's a new thing they added to this game as well. Weapons in the arms gain a bonus to accuracy, but the more you shoot them in turn after turn, you take an accuracy penalty in exchange. The rest of your family died in a freak jump ship accident, after which you discovered they had left nothing behind but piles of debt. After selling everything to settle that debt, you set off on your own, with only your family's ancestral blackjack left to your name. Okay. Family was betrayed. Your family was betrayed and its seat of power destroyed. You defeated the betrayers, but you're the sole surviving member of your house. With nothing but your family's ancestral black mech left to call your own, you set off to make a new life for yourself. Gunnery and guts. Okay. With this, it's worth mentioning how faster than light speed travel works. There's two types of main spacecraft in the BattleTech universe. First is jump ships. These are the things that actually go faster than light speed. They take a long time to charge, about a week typically, but sometimes more, and only have a range of about 30 light years. They can also only jump to and from locations with basically no gravity, so outside of the gravity wells of stars and planets. Because gravity interferes with basically the space magic science that makes faster than light speed possible. Next are drop ships. These are the things that are used for entering and exiting the atmosphere. A space shuttle would be considered a drop ship for a more modern reference. And these are what carries troops and supplies and all that, and they dock with the jump ships. But because of how long it takes for jump ships to charge, and they only have a range of 30 light years, it can take quite some time for information to spread by courier. And not to mention they have to fly using sub-faster than light speed travel to get to and from planets from wherever the jump ship goes. So, so information moves slowly unless it's being broadcast via Comstar's HPG network, which only Comstar knows, only Comstar maintains, only Comstar controls. So you use HPG, Comstar will know everything you're talking about. And they've been hoarding technology since the collapse of the Star League. And they are basically the cloak and dagger faction that maintains balance by sabotaging everyone else, so no one can actually come to true power. But they are officially neutral and will not back any house. At least not in an official capacity. But they have been committed to neutrality. They will not help you to achieve victory. Okay, gunnery tactics, piloting tactics, tactics guts. I'll go with exiled. Out on your own, you fell into a life of an Agreeing Coalition soldier, Frontier Pirate, Solaris Gladiator, Intersphere Mercenary, Frontier Freelancer, Merchant Guard. So 2 flavors of mercenary. Unsure of the prospects, you travel to Coromir, the capital of the Green Reach. Enlisted in the Coalition military, you quickly rose through the ranks, distinguishing yourself as a reliable mech warrior. Life as a soldier wasn't glamorous, but it suited you just fine. Frontier Pirate. Tired of living under the authority of others, you fell with a local pirate gang in the Rimworld periphery. It was an unruly crew, but an effective one. Roaming the periphery afforded you an outfit with steady supply of poorly maintained merchant caravans and supply depots to play upon. While raids did occasionally devolve into combat, you quickly learned that successful piracy is mostly about being in the right place at the right time, with the right threats and a good show of force. So you're a smart pirate. You weren't there. You avoided combat and just stole. You took your skills to the mech warrior to the famed arena of Solaris 7, where you eked out a living as a gladiator fighting for the crowd in minor arenas, getting by from paycheck to paycheck. Eager to get away from it all, you joined up with a minor Intersphere mercenary unit, integrating to their tight-knit crew. Took time, but you eventually proved your worth and became part of the family. You roamed the Rimworld periphery as a freelancer, signing up for whatever odd contracts you could find as a mech warrior for hire. It was a solitary life. As you became more comfortable with the itinerant lifestyle you found, you were able to make a decent living helping people with the frontier. You signed up as a guard for a small training guild, providing security to the team's caravan, made training runs between Intersphere and Periphery. It was largely an uneventful life, but you were able to put your mech warrior skills to good use in the occasional scuffle between pirates and cooperative local governments. Alright, getting a until years later you cross paths with Raju Mastiff Montgomery once again. Pure chance brought you back to the Gain Reach, as your mercenary crew took an ill-fated contract against an enclave of pirates in the outskirts of the Gain space. The job went south and you're the only survivor of your unit. Raju's lance happened to be on patrol nearby. After rescuing you and helping to honor your fallen comrades, he offered you a job in the house around a royal guard. It's so that you find yourself reunited with your old mentor, preparing your ancestral blackjack for guard duty on the coronation day of Lady Camila Arano. Now to design my character. Okay. That's good enough. Gunnery 3, Tactics 4, Piloting 2. Not a very good pilot. But then again, I'm not sure how the numbers compare to that of tabletop, because your average mech pilot in tabletop, as there's only two stats, gunnery and tactics, well, gunnery and piloting, is 3-4. No, wait, that's a clanner. 4-5 is, for sphere. High Lord Tamari Arana II is dead. The Agrian Reach is left in an uncertain crossroads. Once prosperous, it is now a kingdom in decline, surrounded by powerful neighbors. Lord Santiago Espinoza, brother-in-law of the late High Lord, is convinced that the slow-moving Council of Founding Houses must be dissolved. He proposed a directive that would conscript their house guard and centralize power under a single throne. However, High Lord's heir, the noble Lady Kamea Arano, is determined to rebuild the Reach without transforming it into an authoritarian state. She refuses to enact her uncle's directive and has rebuked his vehement pleas to reconsider. On the morning of Arano's ascension to the throne, her royal captain of the guard, Raju Mastiff Montgomery, makes preparation to escort her safely to the coronation procession that awaits in Cordia City. I've been talking so much my throat's starting to hurt. Yay! This is probably the most I talked in a video in a long time. The most I talked at any amount of time for a long time. Time to start. Time for tutorial. Okay, Geek Chef, I had Espinosa refit yards, rush repairs in your blackjack. Looks like it's all in one piece. We should run some diagnostics on it just to be sure. Standard field tests, you know the drill. More importantly, though, I want to tell you more about the job I brought you out here to do. Now do me a favor, get your battle mech loading. Let's see if there's any kinks in the actuators.
I'll come right out and say it, kid. I wasn't completely honest with you the other day. There's gonna be more to this job than escort duty.
Brought you here because there's something wrong with the capital. It's been too quiet since the High Lord Tamadi's funeral, and I'm worried about Lady Kamea's safety during her coronation procession. Anyway, it looks like your actuators check out. Let's conduct a weapons test. Target one of these burnt-out old urban mechs to open fire.
Like I was saying, I can't prove anything. But my gut tells me something's off. Warrior, trust their instincts.
Nothing's left of that Herbie. Good shot. Your guns are in working order, at least. Zeppy! I've been training Lady Arana since she was 14-year-old. She can be naive at times, and proud. But I have no doubt that she will be a kind, a just and effective ruler. It's on us to see her safely to the Cordia city. I'll rest easier once she's in the capital with her cousin Victoria by her side. Lady Victoria, well, she's only been training under me for a single season, but she's already shaped herself into one of the strongest mech warriors I've ever seen. Reminds me a lot of you, truth be told. Anyway, we should run a check on your targeting computer and see... you see that drone over there? The one moving through the trees line? Put some hurt on it for me. Then, when it turns, take it out with a rear angle shot. After it's down, we'll keep moving.
Kamea's like a daughter to me. And her late father, High Lord Tamadi, was a good friend.
Nice shot. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with agree politics, but the Reach has badly shaken by High Lord Tamadi's death. It needs a smooth transfer of power, and Kamea belongs on the Commordant throne. Go ahead and fire up your jump jets, kid. I want to see you defend this clip face. Aim for that patch of ground there near the edge of the lake.
Victoria pulls no punches, but she's been a loyal companion to Kamea since they were kids. Aside from you, there's no one I'd rather have by my side in a fight. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Jump jets built a lot of heat, and that was more than your engine could handle. Get on into that water. We need to get you cooled off.
Yeah, I was going to overheat no matter what I did, because tutorial. Warning, plasma leak detected. Jump jet malfunction. Jump jet system damaged. System inoperable until repaired. Oh, for the love of all the gods. This is what I get for insisting on a rush job. Not that I had much of a choice. The Espinosa refit yards were backlogged like you wouldn't believe. It looked like they were trying to process every single Royal Guard mech in time for the coronation. There isn't any time to get your jets replaced, so we're going to have to make do without them. Go ahead and take that mech down with a melee attack. I want to be sure nothing else is going to break down on your blackjack before you take the Cormorant Road. Good hit. At least that's solid. Alright, one last test. I want you to take your blackjack up to a sprint and evade my attacks.
Push that engine, kid. If something goes wrong today, I want to know that your mech can maneuver.
Congratulations, Geek Chef. Your blackjack is combat ready as it can be, given the circumstances. For what it's worth, I hope that my suspicions turn out to be unfounded, and we end the day having a good laugh at what a paranoid old man I become. But if not, then I know that you'll be ready. Alright, time to move out. Lady Orano's waiting for us at the mech bay.
An impressive display, Sir Roger. Of course, this mech warrior was a student of yours. I'd expect them to know their way around a cockpit.
Geek Chef allows me to, Kamea Arano, soon to be High Lady of the Green Coalition. Is Lady Victoria on this channel? For the time being, my father has summoned me to the Picton docks. I have a fleet inspection and a tour of the family refit yards to preside over before the coronation. Behold, the responsibilities of a noble daughter. A font of tedium that never turns dry. I know the feeling, cousin. By this time tomorrow, we'll be responsible for the entire reach. Give my best to your father, and don't be late for the tourney. Gambling dens are already taking bets on how long it'll take for me to cripple that customized monstrosity pilot. Bold words, cousin, but the only victory that they'll be celebrating is mine. You may be ascending the throne today, but my Koga is more than a match for the family heirloom that you call a battle mech, and in the arena, I reign supreme. We'll see, cousin. We'll see. At any rate, I'll see you at the tourney grounds. Sir Raju, I'm ready to go when you are. Overland, along with the Cormorant Road, as is the Arano tradition. Hi, Kamea. We'll get you there in one piece. Geek Chef, fall behind me, and remember what I told you.
Know that you did so as true heroes
Come on, load. Oh, don't tell me you crashed on me. Nope, it's loading. I'm going to miss this, Raju. The clarity of purpose that I feel in the cockpit of a BattleTech, the simplicity of it. And there they are, just up ahead, the city gates, my future and all laid out before me. Wait, what's that smoke? Guard post. One of the small ones that dot the roads leading to the capital. But the emergency band's been quiet all morning. Haven't heard anything about any fire.
I don't like it. Kid, keep your head on a swivel and be ready for anything. Confirmed.
I'll make it happen.
Roger.
Some sort of explosion. It looks recent too. Do you think it was an accident? No chance. Do you see those scorch marks on the rubble? That's laser fire. We need to get you out of here, Kamea, right now. Yes, I think you're right. There's a patrol row of guard mechs up ahead. We should go to them.
Whatever's happening here, I won't let it derail your coronation. People need you.
Thank you, Russia. I will prove myself worthy of the faith you've placed in me.
That I have no doubt. Aye, aye.
Confirmed.
Moving out.
I'm on.
I've got your back. Affirmative.
Hail, Mastiff. Hail, Lady Arano. We are preparing for Lady Arano's coronation parade when we got word of a disturbance among the Comorant Road. A guard post behind us was attacked. Sir Raju found evidence of laser fire. The road behind you clear? Aye, all the way to the southern gate. Lead the way, Sir Raju. We'll fall behind you and guard your six. Tell me something, guardsman. If the road is clear, why is your battle mech damaged? Our mechs are overdue for maintenance, but that isn't important now. We need to worry about Lady Arano's safety. Now, my lady, if you come with us. No, you're lying to us. It's my coronation day. No mech tech would have sent you out for a parade duty in that condition. I'm your sovereign, sir. You will tell me what's going on here. Damn it, girl, we don't have time for this. Take them. Kill the old man and the mech warrior, but take Lady Arano alive.
Fall back, Command. Get behind us.
You didn't train me to cower, Russia. You trained me to fight. Safety disengaged.
Ah, damn it. Mispositioned.
Tell me what you need.
Because I forgot that Well, I thought there was a path here, but...
Let them make the first mistake.
Well, that's what you get for fighting with no armor.
Yes, I hear you.
What do you got? ACM 5, medium laser, SRM 2. If I can take out that torso.
Standing by.
There goes a couple of its weapons.
Orders.
It's got only an LRM 5 and a medium laser. That's nothing, but it's almost dead. This guy is almost dead too. It's only an SRM 4 and a medium laser. Who's more dangerous? You are.
To hell with the weapons. Damn you for making me...
Ah, hit the torso. I wanted a CT hit.
Talk to me.
Oh, I think the pilot's dead.
Got my attention. Affirmative.
No, I won't fire the ACTM or those to save ammo. One good center torso hit and this guy's toast.
Aye, aye. Battle mech down.
Static, come here. Come here, can you hear me? Alexander, We were just attacked by the Royal Guard. My own guardsmen tried to take me prisoner. It's happening here too. The Royal Guard are killing one another in the halls. Lord Karosha's house guard just got gunned down in front of me. The tourney pavilion's a slaughterhouse. I won't let these seditionists, or whoever they are, steal my birthright. We need to rally every loyalist we can find and make a path for the capital. I'll take the throne by force if I must. Go to Rotora Township to the armory. Your soldiers are using it as a rally point. I heard Lord Decimus send his house guard there a few minutes ago. Someone's here. I have to move. Rally what forces you can and meet me at the turning grounds. Be safe. You heard him, Mastus. Rotora Township. We'll go there, rally our fighters, and march on the southern gates with an army at our back. Kamea, I know you and Lord Madeira are friends, but we can't take, he told you on faith. Right now, we don't know who we can trust. In this case, we do, Alexander. He has been my closest friend and confidant for as long as I can remember. His loyalty is beyond question. I trust him with my life. And yours. Now take me to the armory. As you command, my lady.
Traitors in the guard. And I fear this is only the beginning. Follow me. Keep close and remember your training. Things are likely to get ugly between here and there.
I'll let
Heads up. We've got company.
my heat dissipate a little.
Let them make the first mistake.
Deferring action.
Orders. Aye, aye.
You have my attention. Copy that.
Talk to me. Roger that.
Bullock braced in the woods is the best I could have hoped for there. I should have reserved in all likelihood. Well, in all honesty. Just an AC-10.
I'm listening. Handling multiple. Another enemy casualty.
Got my attention.
Okay, that'll give it.
Follow my lead. Brave, I'll give you that much. They punched through my defenses.
Reading loud and clear. Acknowledged. I'm moving. Locked in on the target. Reporting one less vehicle.
Aye, holding to bleed heat. Aye, best to let her cool down. Holding to vent heat.
Come here. Come here. You hear me? It's Espinosa, your uncle. You hear me? House Espinosa is usurping the throne. It can't be my uncle, Victoria. Come here. I just watched an Espinosa battle mech plow through an alley full of civilians. This is happening. And it's happening now. Your loyalists have fallen back to the market district. It's there, where they're making their final stand. What's left of the Royal Guard are doing their best, but something wrong with their battle mechs. Wait, what's this out? Oh, gods.
Affirmative.
It's over, Kamea. Your ascendancy, the Arano legacy, it's all over. Victoria, what have you done? You know, Kamea, over the years, I loved you like a sister. Then my father helps me see it. Your family's complacency. What it's all done to the Reach. Our nation dwindles like a dying star. The House Arano is to blame. My father offered you a path to glory, but I have fought under your banner proudly. I'd have fought under your banner proudly, served as your strong right hand. It was like a knife in my heart when you turned him away. Damn it, Victoria, I taught you better than this. You taught me lies. Kamea, for the love of that I once bore you, I am going to give you a chance to surrender. I'll even spare the old man the mech warrior. If you stand down now, I don't want to see you hurt. But you cannot be allowed to rule. I'll see you hanged for this, Victoria. You and your father both. You hear me? You are traitors to the Reach, and I will fight you to the last. Then you are truly a fool. I'll spare you in spite of yourself. But you've cost your loyal escort their lives.
Attention, all Espinosa forces. This is Lady Victoria Espinosa. Lady Arano is to be apprehended and taken alive by my command. Fail to follow these instructions, and you will have me to deal with.
A cicada, a spider, a locust. All with relatively low armor. I should be able to handle this with no problem. Well, this is effectively the real tutorial mission. I'm reserving to maintain my evasion.
Damned armor's busted.
Yeah, that locust is the best target for me.
Nice job, kid. One fewer hostile on the board.
I don't know if it was the ammo explosion that caused it to blow, or I just did so much damage to the internal structure that everything had to go. Either way, it works for me.
I'm listening. I'll do what you ask. Reporting a critical strike.
Oh, that guy is basically dead.
Talk to me.
Even got a headshot, too. 2 medium lasers and a small laser.
Giving him everything I've got.
That's good.
That's one less hostile on the board.
Incoming transmission.
Attention, citizens of Corbadir 6. This is Lord Santiago Espinosa. With the unanimous support of the founding houses, I have assumed control of the Oregon Coalition.
much HP does he have? 3. 2 medium laser shots to the center torso. Command, do you hear me? Alexander, thank the gods, I thought I lost you when the bombs fell. You very nearly did, Kamea. The city is lost. We have to get off this planet, and we need to do it now. I can't abandon Cromadir. It's my home, my birthright. The battle's over, Kamea. Lord Madeira has the right of it. It's time for you to run, escape from the madness, and live to restore the coalition another day. You're right. You're both right. My uncle is one. The Reach is his. We'll mourn for that later. The both of us. For now, you need to move. I have a drop shift waiting in Shepherd's Pass. I'm on my way there right now. Hurry and meet me there, please. We're on our way.
Get to that ship, Alexander. I mean it. We will not lose you and my throne on the same day.
Orders. Copy that. Copy that. Never stood a chance.
Yes, I hear you.
Stay in cover in those woods. Pick. This is your last chance, cousin. Don't make me order your death. Do whatever you must, betrayer. Headstrong fool to the end. Damn you for this. Captain Haas, destroy them. Mastiff, my cousin, all of them. Leave no survivors.
That's your command, my man. Got my attention.
I'll reserve. Blur the mech out. Can't do anything about the turrets.
Talk to me. Fall in behind me.
What's that equipped with? 2 medium laser, 2 machine guns. Medium laser SRM C5. He's the bigger threat.
Affirmative.
I'm surprised you survived that. Probably because I was hitting a side arc.
Got my attention. Roger. Confirm.
Standing by. Affirmative. Target destroyed.
Moving out.
I'm moving out.
Thank the gods you made it, Kamea. Captain Havelerson's prepping the engines now. In another 5 minutes, we'll be ready to depart. 5 minutes is a long time. Geek Chef, you see a lady around to the docking ramp. Then when she's aboard, come back to me. We'll hold this pass against whatever comes.
Thank you, Sir Raju. Thank you both. Won't forget what you've done for me today. I promise you that. I'm on the move.
All units advance. I want you to take down that dropship. Destroy everyone and everything that stands in your way. Alright, Geek Chef, I trained you for this. We'll fight side by side and watch each other's backs. Above all else, we will keep Lady Orano safe. Protect the dropship. That's all that matters. Warning, engine heat critical. Warning, error, shutdown initiated. Warning, reactor offline. Weapons offline. Systems inoperable. Trouble with your blackjack, Geek Chef? Shame. That's been happening to a lot of the Royal Guard mechs lately. You have numbers on us, and you've resorted to sabotage, and you're gloating about it. Have you got no honor? You vicious little brat. Not you nor your backstabbing father. Shut your mouth, old man. My father is a great man. I swear to all the gods you will suffer if you insult him again. Your father is a coward, and so are you. Geek Chef, I want you to eject now. Punch out. You're no good to anybody in a broken mech, and I won't let you die today. Eject, mech warrior, now. That's an order. Now come for me, Victoria. Your teacher is waiting. Come and show me what you've learned.
Mission successful.
quick YouTube break in here, because now is well, there's an animatic that's going to be popping up shortly. I'll do it after that, so I make sure it's all recorded. Hey, easy there, Chris. You took a nasty crack on the head when you punched out. Don't worry, you're safe now. My name's Darius Arivia. I'm the XO of the Markham's Marauders. We're a mercenary outfit that with ties to House Arano. We did some work for High Lord Tamrati way back when. I'd introduce you to Commander Makram, but he was on supply run in the Market District when the bombs fell. He, well, didn't make it. Yeah, I am too. He was a good man. A lot of good people died today. We picked up your distress beacon on the emergency band when we were on our way off planet. After seeing what happened to Markham, it didn't feel like relieving you to the hands of the new directorate. We did a sweep at the combat site, grabbed your ejection pod and ran. What of Mastiff? We found his mech. It was completely cored out. No one survives a hit like that. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. We supported the Royal Guards on a handful of deployments, and Sir Raju earned my respect many times over. His death is a loss to us all. Were you able to recover my mech? Yeah, our mech tech hauled what's left of it to the mech bay. It isn't pretty, but if you give him enough time, Yang can fix just about anything. Try not to take the loss too hard. Yang said that your mech shows signs of deliberate sabotage. Whoever you had working on it really did a number on the reactor. Punching out was the right move. So what happens now? Well, things aren't looking hot around here with the coup and all. House Espinosa's directorate is the new de facto government of the Agreean Reach. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but Lady Arano's dead. Her ship was destroyed on takeoff. It's all over the news. Our sentiments exactly. We're getting the hell out of Agreean territory. I've already booked transport on the first jump ship out. We're heading to a nice quiet stretch of independent space all the way across the frontier on the Canopian border. Not a cheap trip, but we'll worry about how we're going to pay for it later. And as for you, well, you've got options. According to your blood shit, you got family out in the Free Worlds League. If you want, I can look into booking you transport on a freighter from aerospace. I can't make any promises, but I'm willing to try. The League isn't my home, it never has been. My family moved to the Reach before I was born. In that case, you'd stay with us for the long haul. When we, get where we're going, we can drop you off at the nearest planet. Maybe you can make a place for yourself there. Of course, I'll need you to pitch in for your share of the fuel, plus food, lodging, and repairs on your mech. Fair's fair, after all. Alternatively, you could find a place for yourself in the Marauders if you wanted to. It wouldn't take you long to work off your debt, and you ran with Massa, so I know you got chops. Think it over, sleep on it. You've had a hell of a day, and we got a long road ahead. Okay. And, well, this is where the YouTube break is.